Hey guys, how's it going? Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful week. Like always, I am returning to Mariah Carey's Rarities album that she released earlier in October of this year. I did a first listen album review video of me listening to her Rarities album, a compilation album of previously unreleased songs from the 90s, 2000s, 2010s that she's never put out before. And I really enjoyed doing that video, and I asked you guys if I should do a Rarities part 2, and you guys said yes. So I am finally doing a part 2 to her Rarities album. Now, there is a disc 2 to this Rarities album. It's her live at the Tokyo Dome from 1996. Now, during her Daydream Tour, she did visit Tokyo, Japan for 3 nights, March 7th, 1996, and March 10th, and March 14th. So the performances I'll be listening to today, I don't know which day they were from, March 7th or March 10th or March 14th of 1996. And as you can see, I am wearing a poppy right here because today is Memorial Day. It's Remembrance Day where I live, November 11th, so I am wearing the poppy. So I am looking at the track list for this disc 2 of the Rarities album, the Live at the Tokyo Dome, and there are 17 tracks, and in total, the running time is 1 hour and 20 minutes. You know what though, I imagine it's not even gonna feel like 1 hour and 20 minutes because this video will fly by. We're gonna have so much fun listening to some Mariah Carey live. I've never seen a Mariah Carey concert before. I've never heard her in concert before. I think I might have heard snippets of her in concert here and there, but I've never actually sat down and listened to a full concert performance by her. So this is going to be really exciting for me. Earlier this year, I did go on my Mariah Carey discography journey, so I pretty much have listened to each and every one of her songs. I've pretty much listened to every song she's ever released. So I've heard all the original versions of all these songs on this track list here. So enough talking, let's get into the very first track. Track number 1, Daydream Interlude, the Fantasy Suite dub mix, live at the Tokyo Dome. I feel like I'm actually there. Yeah! Woo! The return of the whistle register. Yes! Honestly, one of my favorite parts of any old school Mariah Carey song from the 90s is the iconic whistle register. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but there were times during this live performance that it actually sounded like the original recording of Emotions. That's how good she sounds live. It's so close to the original recording on the album that it's almost hard to differentiate the original recording and her live performance of the song at times. Honestly, she sounds just as good live as she does on the album. And I will also say that Emotions is one of my favorite Mariah Carey albums out of her entire catalog. So I actually don't know how I'm gonna go about the next 15 tracks on this album. I don't know if I'm gonna stop at the end of each one and give you my input and my thoughts like I usually do in these first listen videos, or maybe at times I'll just listen to 2 songs in a row or 3 songs in a row before I comment. I don't know, it's gonna be touch and feel. Whatever I feel like doing, whatever feels natural, I'm gonna do it that way. If I feel like I'm in a particular zone or mindset after I listen to a song and I just want to move on to the next one, I'm gonna do that because this is essentially a concert, so I want to treat it as so. So I don't want to stop at the end of each one and give you my opinions and my thoughts. I might just let a few songs blend together in a row before I comment on them. So I really don't know what's gonna happen in this video, but I imagine I'm gonna be blown away a few times. So let's move on to track number 3, Open Arms, live at the Tokyo Dome. Such a great rendition of Open Arms. Honestly, Open Arms is one of my favorite songs of all time. Open Arms by Journey. I recall saying many times on my Mariah Carey discography journey that I was never a fan of her covers. She's done a few other covers through the decades, but they have grown on me, and I think this is a beautiful cover of Open Arms. So now let's move on to Forever, live at the Tokyo Dome.
Japanese phrase that I learned, okay? Now, if I say this wrong, gotta cut me a break here because I'm new in town. I'm gonna say, what?
Come on.
Say it slow. Kono kyoku wa totemo samishi kyoku desu. Kono kyoku wa I don't wanna cry.
Oh.
Right? Kyuko? I don't know.
I wish I could speak Japanese.
Once again, we sit inside. Can make promises, but we still won't change. I don't wanna cry. I don't wanna cry. 'Cause baby, I don't wanna cry. I don't wanna cry. And nothing in the world can take us back to where we used to be. I don't wanna cry. I don't wanna cry. I don't wanna cry. I don't want to cry. Don't wanna cry.
Alrighty, and that was tracks number 4 and 5, Forever and I Don't Want to Cry. And Great performances. I don't have much to say about them other than I really enjoyed myself. Ear Candy, Mariah's voice from this time, 1996, pure eye candy. Ear candy, oh my god. So now we're going to move on to track number 6, Fantasy, live at the Tokyo Dome. Oh.
So when you see yourself, wave because you're going to be on TV. Song from the new album, and I decided to do it because all of my Japanese friends kept asking me about it when I did interviews, and they said that it was their favorite song from the album. Kono Kyoku wa Underneath the Stars desu.
I just want to pause here quickly and say that we just listened to. I was gonna say, I don't know, okay. One Sweet Day is my favorite Mariah Carey song of all time. Always Be My Baby. I don't know if it's my second, but it's definitely in my top 5 of favorite Mariah Carey songs of all time. So Always Be My Baby and One Sweet Day, 2 of my favorite Mariah Carey songs of all time. Even Fantasy, we did listen to Fantasy, Always Be My Baby, and One Sweet Day, tracks number 6, 7, and 8. And I just want to say that Track number 8, One Sweet Day, is affecting me a bit more now than it did previously because someone very close to me in my life was just diagnosed with cancer this year. And we don't really know what's gonna happen. So I am hoping for the best, but the song has a whole new meaning for me now, especially the line, "Sorry I never told you all I wanted to say." But I'm not gonna turn this into a sob story. Let's just move on to track number 9, Underneath the Stars. I wish I could pronounce it in Japanese like Mariah did, but I can't. So let's get into it.
One summer night, we ran away for a while. That no one could find. As we drifted to another state of mind. And imagine I was yours and you were mine. Wrapped in the warm, gentle breeze, and the feeling was so heavy and so blind. Beautiful and bittersweet, and I lay in bed all night and I was drifting. This is a song that was originally made popular by Harry Nilsson, and I used to love it when I was a little girl, so I decided to do it. And I'd like to do my rendition of it for you tonight, and it's called Without You. No, I can't forget this evening, or your face as you were leaving. We're gonna bring out the choir now.
Ooh,
Choir. Give them a big
I'm
hand.
happy again. Yay.
A song about believing in yourself. And knowing that you can make it happen. No more than 3 short years ago, I was so bad to never know if I would make it through the night. I held on to my faith. I struggled and I played. You believe in yourself and nothing, know what you want. You're gonna make it happen. Make it happen. See, I no longer be so tough, and you feel like you can love, but you must be strong, baby. Just hold on. And now I finally found my way. Listen and pray to the Lord. It's gonna make it happen. It's gonna make it happen. And only for a while. Something that they want you to know. If you believe within your soul, just hold on tight and don't let go. Don't let go. Don't ever, ever let go. Make it happen.
I feel like I'm at a rock concert now with that electric guitar.
Tell me I get crazy. People always talking about Just be good to me. Just be good to me.
So I just want to pause there for a second because we listened to 5 songs in a row. Underneath the Stars, Without You, Make It Happen, Just Be Good to Me. One, two, oh, only 4 songs actually. See, time just flies by when you're having fun. Anyway, Just Be Good to Me. I don't recall ever hearing this song. It doesn't sound familiar to me. What album is this from? Oh, okay, it's a cover. I kind of thought that it was a cover. Just Be Good to Me is a song originally recorded by the SOS Band that Mariah performed on the Music Box and Daydream Tours. Well, that proves me wrong because I thought I heard all of Mariah's covers and songs already, having listened to her entire discography, but I haven't listened to this song yet. I don't think I've ever heard the original version by the SOS Band, and I've never heard Mariah's version, Just Be Good to Me. I really enjoyed this cover of the song, and I probably enjoyed it more than I should have because I haven't heard SOS's version before. I feel like she should have recorded this cover and put it on one of her albums. So let's continue on with this amazing live concert from the Tokyo Dome. And I'm gonna say it again, she sounds great live. And she sounds just as good live as she does on her original studio recordings. And I'm loving it. I will say though, I don't know if this is a common thing that happens during concerts, but I do feel like she might also be using some of the actual studio recordings during this live performance in the background. There are times where it sounds just a little bit too close to the original recording, so I don't know if she's just really on point or it's the actual studio recording kind of filling in the background as she sings. So let's continue on to track number 13, Dream Lover.
need a friend. Hi, streamers. I love you. Every other language. Thank you so much. This is for you. If you're lonely, need a friend. Anytime you need a friend, I will be here. You'll never be alone again. I'm by your side. So don't you ever be lonely. So don't worry, don't be. Even if you're far away, I will be here. Never be alone again. I'm by your side. Don't you ever be lonely.
Oh no. And that's a wrap. Oh my god, she would end on All I Want for Christmas Is You. I mean, that song does something to me every time I listen to it. I get possessed by the Christmas ghost, by the Christmas spirit, and it is close to Christmas. It's November, so this got me in the mood for Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, I will be doing a first listen album review video of her second Christmas album from 2010, Merry Christmas to You, in December. I have a lot of Christmas albums to listen to in the next month and a half, and I'm saving Mariah's second Christmas album for probably Christmas week. So Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, probably one of those 2 days. And I do want to quickly point out that the last 5 songs I listened to were tracks number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, Dream Lover, Vision of Love, Hero, Anytime You Need a Friend, and All I Want for Christmas Is You. Now, track number 15, Hero, is another one of my favorite Mariah Carey songs of all time, definitely in my top 5. as well as All I Want for Christmas Is You. Again, another one of my favorite Mariah Carey songs in my top 5. And I will also say her Music Box album was a very emotional experience for me to listen to for the first time, especially the song Music Box. I actually did cry listening to that song for the first time. And this song as well, Anytime You Need a Friend. I didn't cry listening to this song for the first time, but it was definitely a very emotional experience, and that's why I do find it difficult at times to listen to her Music Box album because it really does stir something within myself, and it's not a happy experience listening to that album because of the memories it invokes within myself. Just things I've gone through in my teenage years, and it just reminds me of unhappy times in my life. But at the same time, I do think that Music Box is a great Mariah Carey album. I forget what my initial review and impression of that album was when I did my first listen video, but to this day, I do think Music Box is a really great Mariah Carey album. So that is all 17 tracks of part 2 of the Rarities live at the Tokyo Dome, and I really enjoyed myself. It was great listening to a full Mariah Carey concert, which I've never been to. I've never listened to any of her live performances, really. I've heard a couple tracks that she did live within the last, I don't know, however many years, but I've never actually sat down and listened to a full concert from her. So it was a nice experience. And I will also say her voice is just immaculate live. Her voice sounds just as good as the studio recordings of the songs. And that left me a bit shook, especially track number 14, Vision of Love. It sounded almost exactly like the studio recording, and it left me a bit shook. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, she sounds great live. There are times where you can't even tell the difference between the studio recording and her live vocals. There were a lot of great moments during these performances. The choirs and the backup vocalists and the production, the whistle register, and interesting little things she did here and there. And I liked the dialogue in between some of the songs where she was talking to the audience. I always love hearing snippets of an artist talking to an audience, or it was taking me back also to Janet Jackson's albums, how in between some of her songs she would have interludes and she would be speaking. So I always like it when artists do that. So I think that's all I wanted to say on the album. I had a lot of fun listening to these songs. I definitely want to check out the visual now. I want to watch the Blu-ray of the actual concert now. I imagine actually watching the concert just enhances the experience because you get to see the crowd and you're singing along with the crowd. You get to see the crowd waving their hands in the air, I imagine, at specific parts during this album, and you see their faces, and you get to see Mariah, and I imagine it just enhances the whole experience. So what did you guys think of the album? What do you guys think of the Rarities, Disc 1, the previously unreleased songs, and now the live at the Tokyo Dome? What do you think of it? Maybe you're watching this video and you were actually there in 1996 at the Tokyo Dome. Maybe you were there. Maybe you were actually in the audience. So officially, I think that's all I wanted to say. Leave your input, leave your comments, and yes. So thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can message me. You can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music. You can check out my playlists and so on and so forth. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.